The journey of zero is incredible. From a silent placeholder in the middle, to being a binary gate of logic, to an infinitesimal tendency, to a real digit. The Babylonians on the Euphrates bank left between digits a blank to denote a zero to hold the place in their sexagesimal system, with 60 as base. 3 centuries before Common Era materialized, the Seleucids symbolized zero by planting a double wedge or 2 hooks slanting. 3 decades before the Common Era fell, the Maya in the system vigesimal signified zero as a cedar shell, a flower or a fist-like symbol. Empty positions to mark in long count dates of their almanac. 1900 years ago, Ptolemy's zero was small and circular, with a horizontal bar above the logo, the Omicron with the over bar in his astronomical table. However, Aristotle and others were baffled by nothingness, as their arithmetic was geometric. So, a number would represent only area or length of a physical shape or space. There was no place for a zero to seek in the philosophy of the Greek. 1500 years ago, during the Gupta age in Aryabhata's astronomical school, zero was a sophisticated tool. Not yet as a mathematical digit, he conceived zero as a gate of logic by adding omission gates within a number or at its end, increasing the states of places by 10 times the antecedent. For this, alphabetic ciphers he designed, to consonants values he assigned, and to vowels he gave logic powers, opening or closing them in full with the zero logical no. Numbers tending to zero also he did not dismiss as error, while making sign tables to 4 decimal places he enabled. To predict a planetary orbital, he built the blueprint of the circle, and to find the sign of an angular mode he formulated a recursive code, predicting the second order of loss, the second derivative of modern calculus, starting with the base sign, equating it to the first angle being too fine, applying what we now know as small angle approximation law. It was finally Brahmagupta, 1400 years ago, who transformed zero from a silent marker into a functional number, elevating it from the state of a logic gate to a number in itself, with a value to remember, not just to help in reading another number. He postulated famously that the sum of 2 zeros is zero only, and the sum of numbers, positive and negative, which he called Bannerman, Renum, or fortune or debt, would be their difference and would be zero when there's equivalence. He provided to the world a statute to compute that a debt minus zero is a debt, and in the same tune, a fortune minus zero is a fortune. The oldest physical example of shunya lies carved on the wall of the temple from 1200 years ago at Gwalior Fort, under the escort of travelers and traders. Zero got adopted from India by China and Arabia, and also by Persia. Centuries before Common Era, back in China, had a rod system to reckon when shunya or zero would land there by the hand of Buddhist monks, the dynasty of Tang. 1200 years ago, hired from India, an astronomer Gautama Siddha, who got the dot introduced in Juice-Hilly calendars, translated and reproduced. 1200 years ago, Indian diplomat Kanaka carried the seminal work of Brahmagupta, the correctly established doctrine of Brahma, to the caliph in Baghdad, who then had it translated and labeled as the Indian astronomical tables. Our quarries meet in Persia, then studied the Siddhanta from Arabia, and rewrote on the calculation with Hindu numerals, and introduced zero or cipher to all, adopting it into the Arabic numeral system. He applied it to algebraic equations and converted the familiar over learned about the Hindu numeral system from Arab traders to who would quote the book of calculation. Then he wrote to train the Italian merchants how to gain, and taught the bankers how to be safer by balancing accounts using the cipher. How to calculate interest, currency exchange rate, cost of shipping and freight using the zero and decimals. Faster than Roman numerals, zero remained a number in Europe until it became an origin to map world's physical proportions into mathematical equations. When 400 years ago in France, Descartes plotted 0, 0 on a graph as the point of crossing of x and y axis. Later Newton in London and Leibniz in Saxony of Germany conceived the fluxions and differentials to calculate changes or tiny intervals. Thus was born calculus to define a number which was almost zero, but not quite there. From the Horovec to the glyph marker to the logic gate and alphabetic cipher, from a 4 decimal sign value to a definite value. Zero was as a placeholder